I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne. Welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover.
And today we are at Natural Bridges National Monument.
Yes, this is not very far from Blanding, Utah. It's considered part of Lake Powell area, and it's administered by the National Park Service.
And we appear to be the only people here today.
Oh, I saw a car go by.
Okay, we may be here with only one other person today.
It's late winter and it is cold and windy. We're looking to maybe find a camp spot here and do some hiking and photography. If you don't find camping here, there's some dispersed camping just a short distance away.
So we're off to find the camping, and we'll talk to you soon. Corinne and I are staying at the Natural Bridges National Monument Campground. It's a beautiful little campground. We've been here for 2 nights so far and have really enjoyed it. The price per night in the campground is $14 unless you have a senior's pass or an interagency discount pass, and then it's $7 a night.
So we're just doing a walk through the campground. There's 13 campsites, and the length of the sites is limited to a combined length of 26 feet for your trailer or tow vehicle and your car. And there's a lovely set of washrooms here, 2 vault toilets, and lots of trash bins and recycle bins. There's 1 campsite set aside for handicapped people. It's site 11. There's several sets of containers for trash and recycling, and next to them they've provided a nice receptacle for your fire pit ashes. Here's Red Rover tucked away in her campsite for the night. We chose campsite 4. It has a lot of good sunlight for our solar panels during most of the day, and it's protected from the wind by the trees. There's a loop to the campground, and it's entirely paved, though a little bit rutted and bumpy in places, but definitely easily doable for all vehicles. If you've been to national parks before, you know that they frequently have a post here where you can put your receipt, and that marks that the site is occupied, so that you don't have to worry if you take your vehicle away for the day and leave it unattended. Here's one of the vault toilets. There's 2. One is fairly close to campsite 3, and we're closer now to campsite 7 over here. If you're camping with friends, this is a convenient setup. There's 2 campsites next together, 7 and 8. The campsites all have a picnic table, and usually towards the back there's a boarded off sand area that's great for tents, and you have a fire pit area. Our campsite is located on the perimeter. Our site is number 4, and so at the back of the campsite we have a view if you walk out a little ways. It's not visible from where the van is parked, but you can walk a short distance to see this lovely view. So we're taking a drive along the 9-mile loop road that goes by 3 of the natural bridges here at Natural Bridges National Monument. And this is the first of the bridges. It's one of the largest natural bridges existing. It's second in size only to the Rainbow Bridge, which is in Glen Canyon. And this one's called Sipapu, which is referring to a gateway that the Hopi believed spirits would go through to get to the other world upon their death.
The Sipapu Bridge is right down there in that little white canyon, and it's about 200 feet high. It's absolutely beautiful from up here.
The Sipapu Bridge is 220 feet tall, that's 67 meters, and it's 268 feet across, or 28 meters wide. We just left the parking lot for the trailhead. We're going to go down to the Sipapu Bridge. It's about a 500-foot drop into the White Canyon, and there's a couple flights of stairs and some ladders. Well, we walked down about 200 feet from the parking area, did a staircase and a ladder, and we're just taking a look at the bridge overlook here. You can see the bridge down there. There's an old creek bed running underneath, and lots of vegetation down there. We've just come down the last ladder, and we wound up right underneath the arch. There's trees by us, and the path continues down through the trees. Once you get to the bottom underneath the Sipapu Bridge, you have an option to take the trails to the other two bridges. It would make for a very long walk. I think there's about 5 miles between each bridge.
Where are you?
Well, according to my compass, the arch crosses from northwest to southeast. So you'll get the early morning sun on the left side of it and the late afternoon on the west side of it, over to the right. And I'm just to the east side. I'm going to take a walk underneath, back toward where the trail came down the hill, and get a view of it from the other side. Just watch it walking along the creek bed that passes underneath the arch, heading west. You can see the canyon up there, really bright sun.
So Corinne and I are just sitting in the shade here, or actually standing in the shade here. The canyon is quite deep, and there's lots of huge rock cliffs all around us. The arch is right behind where Corinne's filming from. And this is actually a great vantage point looking back towards the arch.
After you've followed the creek bed along to the shadowed spot that Shawn was mentioning with the high canyon walls, it takes an abrupt turn to the right, and then the creek continues. And it's these types of meanders of the creek that create the arches. Initially, the creek goes around rock formations in a zigzag pattern or a meandering pattern. And then over time, the creek tries to break through to shortcut its route instead of doing the long meander. And that creates the archway underneath. And as time and wind and sand proceed, then the arch becomes more and more high and prominent, spanning across the canyon. So I'm not going to follow this much further, but you get the sense of how it turned away. A lot of the trail is sand over bedrock, and when there's not sand and you have to go up, there's some convenient stone steps leading you down.
So although the hike is fairly vigorous, the thing that makes it treacherous today is the ice on the especially on the stone slabs heading up in the shade. It makes it really slippery, and you got to watch your step. The trick is to walk in a way that you're actually closest to the main rock on the inside, so to my right hand side as I'm walking up.
Each of the parking areas, trailheads, are nicely marked with these beautiful signs, giving you lots of warning which is coming up, and the parking lot will be just ahead. Our next stop along the loop road is at the Horse Collar Ruins. We're going to take a short 0.6 mile there and back trail that's mostly level out to an overlook where we can see the ruins. And the Horse Collar is the name given to this trail and the ruins because of the shape of the granuaries doors, which we'll show you. It's going to be quite a long distance away and down below us in the canyon, so we'll be using our Canon cameras to get a better view. It's really windy here today. Not too many people out on the trail. It's a Sunday, but I think the cold weather and wind has kept a lot of people away. It's been a nice trail, mostly rock surface to walk across, a few sandy bits, and it's been very easy to follow. A little bit of up elevation at the beginning and a little bit down towards the end. And we're almost at the ruins, so we'll give you a view. Shadow line up. That goes to the granuaries that are right under that ledge there. And it's really hard to see because of the shadow. A little bit earlier in the day would have been a better lighting for this. Shawn's going to try and take some photos with his Canon camera. Just in the shadow under the ledge, you'll see a number of holes marking where the kiva and the ruins are located. Follows in that hollow that's somewhat crescent moon shape. Well, we tried the hike to the Horse Collar Ruins in the afternoon, and the lighting was not great for getting some photographs, so we've decided to come back the next morning and catch it when it's perhaps lit better.
Also, when we went out the last time, I only took my 70 to 200 lens to photograph the ruins. You are quite far away from them when you're looking from the overlook. So today, I've got the big boy out with me, the 100 to 400 stabilized zoom, and it should help get some better pictures.
If you're not here to take photos, it's a good idea to bring binoculars. In the archaeologist notes about these ruins, they find influences from two different types of the Pueblo people. There's the Cayente people of northern Arizona, and then there's a group that are known as the Mesa Verde people, who are from southwest Colorado and southeast Utah. And how they've determined that both people were influencing the ruins here is that there are two shapes of kivas. One is a round kiva and the other is a square kiva. These are ceremonial or domestic areas of living. So the different shapes are attributed to the different peoples of the Pueblo groups. There's also some influence that they've found in terms of pottery shards and other archaeological finds that indicate there was a fair amount of trade between the two people.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to give you a few travel photography tips. Now, one of the things you'll probably notice is that I've got my monster lens on, and the reason for that is that the ruins are actually quite a long ways away from the observation area, and it really takes the long lens to get a good close-up photograph of the ruins. The second part is that when we set up a lens like this and when I'm shooting handheld, really important that I set the lens up and the camera up so that it'll deal with a little bit of shake, and also because I'm having a little bit more, struggling with the lens a little bit more, I don't want to be fooling around with a lot of settings at the same time. So I try to set up the camera up so that it will work mostly in automated mode, with one exception, and that is that I like to be able to control the shutter speed, because that allows me to fix a good shutter speed that will prevent us having a lot of shake in the camera. So for example, this morning I've got it on manual mode, but I've set my ISO up to be automatic, and I've set my white balance up to be automatic, so I simply don't have to think about those. So all I really need to do is set my f-stop and my speed, and the f-stop just needs to be small enough or large enough number so that you get a good depth of field in the photograph. And the most important setting will be the shutter speed, and that helps me take the shot even with a little bit of shake or a little bit of movement. The shutter speed can compensate for that and give me a nice sharp photograph.
Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed this video of Natural Bridges National Monument. We've sure enjoyed taking you along for the walks. And if you liked our video, we hope you'll give us a thumbs up.
And if you enjoyed the video and want to keep track of us, please subscribe.
And if you want to know when future videos are posted, just click on that notification bell in the bottom corner.
And as always, please don't hesitate to leave us a comment, a thought, or an idea. Or if nothing else, ask us some questions about these areas. We love to hear from you.
Or if you just have a suggestion of someplace we should visit that's similar or in the neighborhood, let us know. Thanks so much for joining us.
Take care and bye for now.
Bye for now.